Yeah, that's right. Talking with T-Bird is back here for another great interview. And today we're talking with Survivor Thailand's Jake Billingsley here with the woman who brings all the survivors together, time in and time out. It's Don't Call Me T-Bone, Teresa Cooper.
Hey, Rob.
T-Bird, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, doing great. Very excited to get the chance to catch up with you and catch up with Jake. And last time out, we had such a great interview, new start to the Talking with T-Bird season, as we caught up with Shannon Shambo Waters.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
Never
so fun.
Shambo, never at a loss for words, that's for sure.
No, she was great. And I know you worked for a long time to get Shambo on the podcast, and it was just a great surprise for the listeners. Shambo had been for many years somebody that T-Bird was trying to convince to come on the podcast. And Shambo had never listened to a podcast prior to coming on Talking with T-Bird. And she listened to the Jason podcast. And then she's been listening back to the podcast that we all did. And she was very happy with how it turned out. She's showing it to everybody. And I recently spoke to Shambo, and she said that she's been contacted by hundreds of people after being on the podcast.
Yep. And yesterday I talked with Shambo again, and Shambo goes, "All right, T-Bird, no more people. I'm going dark." Shambo is going dark again because she has been reached out. So many people have reached out to her now. When people get in touch with me and say, "Can you get me in touch?" then I'll go to her first. And she's like, "Yeah, sure. Sure." But now Shambo's told me she's going dark again, but not before. She has given some RHAP Talking with T-Bird advice.
Yes.
She said we needed to know. So go ahead, Rob. This is your.
No, I too spoke to Shambo, and I've been talking with her, and she also had a lot of feedback for me, and so I appreciate the constructive feedback always.
Yes.
So hopefully we can always just keep getting better on Talking with T-Bird. Some of the things I think we can fix, other things I think would be harder to fix, and good to know. But Shambo, she's all about helping people and positivity, and so if she has ideas for ways that you could improve something, she's going to share it.
She is going to share it. She's going to put it right out there. So
yeah. So I appreciate that from Shambo. Okay, T-Bird, what's been new with you?
Summer flying. I've been flying a lot, but we're getting ready to slow it down after Labor Day. The airline Delta will slow down until we start picking up again around Thanksgiving. So just been working a lot this summer.
Yeah. Do you look forward to the slower season?
Yeah.
Because it's coming up on my busy season.
Yeah. I enjoy it probably more because I love fall. I love fall, the weather. So it's nice to be home in the fall. In the summer, it's so hot, flying it everywhere. It doesn't matter to me because it's too hot to do much outside. But yeah, I love the fall weather.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, T-Bird, are you ready to talk to Jake?
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay. T-Bird, take it away with your introduction for Jake.
Our guest today played on the 5th season of Survivor Thailand. His 60 years of life experiences up to then made him a perfect fit for this adventure. I would even say prepared him for it. He was born in Tyler, Texas. This Eagle Scout at the age of 6 would go into the woods by himself, hunt, shoot birds, pluck them, build a fire, cook them, and then eat them. His dad was his hero, his mother his role model. At a young age, she would read him his favorite book, The Little Engine That Could, which helped him believe that all things were possible, and it gave him the drive to do things others could not or would not do. He learned from an early age adversity doesn't build character, but how one handles adversity. He has watched every season of Survivor. The first season got his attention. But after watching season 2, the Australian Outback, when one of the players said no one over 50 could compete in this game, this self-described old competitor who had done triathlons and also been a Colorado mountain hiking guide for years filled out his application. It was game on. Survivor Thailand won the People's Choice Award that year and had a lot of new game twists. It was the first time in Survivor history that the initial tribes weren't pre-selected by producers, but honored the Thai culture and the respect given to the elders by having the two oldest players choose their tribe and their camp location. Each camp had its advantages and disadvantages. Our guest today chose the camp closest to the water source, and the players he chose were the younger, more athletic ones. He made it to day 33, finishing in 6th place, and was the last member of his tribe standing. He lost 36 pounds and has said he experienced many highs. One of his most memorable highs was having his wife, Jenny, come for the family visit and compete for a chance to spend 24 hours with her loved one. The competition had her eating a water bug, 3 live grubs, a tarantula, and a scorpion. He has been described by his castmates as tenacious, loyal, compassionate, sweet, friendly, and very, very handsome. This motivational speaker and storyteller loves real, genuine, nice people and will tell you that throwing a challenge is a big mistake and that the winner should be the best person that played the game. I introduce the man who has worn many hats in his lifetime, but favors his old adventure hat, the man who believes in God and that there is good in the world, the man who just celebrated his 84th birthday on August 21st, making him the oldest surviving survivor, my friend, Jake, the Snake, Billingsley.
Yes. Wow. Jake, how about that introduction?
My gosh, I'd forgotten
Jake.
most of that. That's what happens when you get this age. You forget most of it. But you reminded me of all of it, and it was wonderful. In fact, I have to tell you, I got a little teary-eyed there with some of it. It was really nice. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jake, for being here. I got a little teary-eyed as I was working on it, thinking about you and having you here is such a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. T-Bird, you said you called Jake your friend. Is that mostly from getting ready for this podcast, or have you two had a relationship over the years?
I think we met in the early days, Jake. And, you know, I think it's like we go through this experience together. And I know we met, like I said, because I have this book here. I might as well show it to you now. Jake's book, Shaping My Hat. Right?
Yeah.
So Jake had sent me this and signed it. So, yeah, we've known each other a long time.
We have, no question about it, you know. And how can you forget anybody who's named T-Bird?
Well, some people call her T-Bone now.
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Jake, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. It's so good to see you again. You were one of our favorites on that show.
Thank you so much, Jake. Well, we both like the seasons like come out in twos. And so all of you who played on Survivor Thailand are always like very much burned into our brains from when we went out there, that we talked about you all like you were the biggest thing. Yeah, you were all on television at the time that we were playing. So I remember all of you especially well.
Well, thank you. I remember a lot of people on that show, some of them a lot more than I do others, and you were one of our favorites, no question about it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jake. Well, it's so nice to get the chance to catch up with you. And I told you right before we came on, you look and sound great.
Well, I feel pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, I can't think quite as fast as I used to. Of course, I'm a Texan. Texans don't talk fast and they can't hear fast, so they just are kind of slow. We just move around at our own pace.
Yeah. Well, it's working, whatever it is that you're doing. How do you fill your time these days?
Well, right now, I'm back writing a book I started writing years ago. It's called, well, what is the name of my book called? I have to change the name of it every now and then. because and you have to change some of the stories every now and then. And I hate writing like that, but I guess what I need is one of those AIs to come in and help me write, but I haven't done that yet.
Not yet.
Jake, is it fiction or nonfiction?
I'm sorry?
Is it fiction or nonfiction? Is it about your life?
It's nonfiction.
Nonfiction. Okay.
Yeah, it's not true. No,
It's not
part
true.
of it's true.
Part of it's based on a true story.
Most of the things that I talk about are from my days when I was a hunting guide back in the backwoods of Colorado, which I did for somewhere around 40 years. Actually, I've hunted all over the place. I've hunted in gosh, where have I hunted? Where have I not hunted? I've hunted in Canada. I've hunted in Siberia, if you can believe that, Russia, different places like that. So I've been around quite a bit.
Yeah.
Jake.
Keeper mentioned in the introduction that you still are watching Survivor. You've watched it all through all these years, 25 years of Survivor?
Season we've watched it. Jenny and I both. We make a time. It was really funny when we lived in Arizona. We had a bunch of Canadian friends, and they would come over to our house, or we would go to their house, and every week we'd watch Survivor when it was on. I'd tell them what I thought, and they'd tell me why I was wrong.
Jake, so correct me if I'm wrong, but you actually sent in your first application for season 3, Africa, right?
Yes, I did.
So it was interesting because I was thinking about this. So who was cast in your place would have been Frank, right, Rob?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, a hunter that ended up being that spot. I could see it.
Yeah. And so, Jake, Frank was my number 1 ally in Africa. So as I'm doing my, my research about you, I thought if you had been on season 3, I guess you could have been a good chance. You would have been my ally out there, just like Frank was.
I'm sure I would have been your ally. But I think I would have been scared to death of those lions when they were growling at you guys at night. My goodness, that was spooky.
Well, that would have been the only thing you couldn't have hunted out there in Africa, because I know Frank was disappointed about that. But then you applied.
Listen, I posed myself as a hunter. I quit killing years and years ago. I was a guide. I would guide hunters out, and we'd find the best animal for him, and he might have a bow and arrow or something like that. And I'd say, "You sure you want to kill that thing? I mean, look how pretty he is." And they'd say, "I paid $4,500 for this hunt. You think I'm not going to shoot him?"
So
anyway,
Jake,
I didn't kill much.
Yeah.
After a certain period of time, you get where you bow hunt and you get as good as you think you should be or would like to be, and then you just quit hunting. You just enjoy being out there in the woods, and I've always done that.
So Jake, so you applied for Africa, then you applied again for the 4th season, right? Or Teresa.
I did.
They contacted you for the 5th season. So tell us how your experience went going through the audition process.
Well, the funniest part of my audition part, the first one that I went to was really funny because this little girl met me at CBS in Fort Worth. And when I walked up, she said, "Oh, Jake, welcome. You look great." And boy, I was kind of, throwing my chest out a little bit. I mean, this girl was a knockout. And then all of a sudden she said, "For a man your age."
Oh.
So I was 58 years old when I tried out for that one. And then after that, I went out and I tried to recall every question they asked me, because I was totally convinced I was going to get to do it again, and I was going to be prepared the next time. And I did. And I won.
So you actually auditioned for Africa, or did you audition for the 4th one?
I auditioned for 3 different ones.
You sent your application.
Yeah.
sent my application in for 3 different
Season 3, season 4, season 5, right?
Yeah, I auditioned for the first one, and I actually got, I think they said there were 800 places where they would film you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I went to Fort Worth for that filming. Then the second one I sent in, I didn't get an audition on that one. And the third one I sent in, I did finally got an audition. And I was ready for it, boy, I'm telling you. I wanted to be on that show in the worst way.
When you were going through the process, did you recognize anybody you played with through the audition process at the hotel?
No.
Really?
No, not a soul.
Okay. Well, I think it's interesting that the game started by letting the 2 elders pick the tribes, which was the first time it had ever done that.
It was the first time, yeah. Well, I was 60 years old by then. I was 58 when I sent in my first application. By this time, I'm 60. Yeah, I mean, I was ready for it, for whatever might come up. And then they put us in 2 different boats, and we thought we were going to get to play against the girls.
Men versus women, yeah.
Yeah, well, we thought that was going to happen, but it didn't happen that way. Nothing about
They say that for
Survivor's
us.
ever what you think it's going to be. That's the fun part of it.
Yeah. I remember seeing that. And again, that was very much on my mind when we went to go play, and that they started your season with all the men in one boat, all the women in one boat. And I remember saying to myself, like, they would never do it, men versus women. That was like, I felt like very confident they wouldn't do that. Sure enough, they did when I went out. But they had you and Jan select the teams, and the story was really like you had all the young, strong people, and and people said, Jake killed Jan in the draft. Jake made such a better team than Jan, where she had the older, later days people who were not going to be as good in the challenges. Jake, was that how you saw it as well?
Oh, absolutely. As my friend said when I got back, Jake, you just picked the hot chicks. And I said, guys, who do you want to spend that 39 days with? Do you want to spend with those old fogies, or do you want to spend with those hot chicks?
No comment, Jake.
Is this a good time to mention, Rob, that he's got his beautiful bride beside him, Jenny?
Yes. Well, we've heard
Jenny's
her a
listening to
little
all
bit.
this. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And I don't hear Jenny yelling at Jake, so I don't think you're in trouble.
So, Rob, I was going to say now might be a fun time to do that first intro, our clip.
Okay. All right.
T-Bird
has a clip to show you, Jake. Let's see if we can bring this up. Okay, let's play the clip, Sam.
Hi, Jake. Hi, everybody. I hear we're doing a podcast. Jake, I want to tell you,
Jan.
through Survivor, you and I both, we're always ended up together. Now look at us. We're the 2 oldest ones they got. Once again, we're together, but that's okay. I just want to tell you, thank you for all the stories that you told while we were on the island. It kept our morale up. They were hilarious. And I just want to thank you for hanging in there with me at all the challenges. I know some of them you and I didn't want to be together, but we ended up. Now we're together. I hope Jenny's doing good. Anyway, you were a great guy on the island, and I enjoyed meeting you and living with you for 2 months. You have a great life. Thank you.
There you go.
Jenny, what a sweetheart she was.
Yeah. We had a great interview with her a couple of years ago, one of my favorites, and she's still so funny to get the chance to talk to.
Yeah, she's wonderful. I loved her too. How could you not love someone who, when you killed a chicken, she wanted to bury the feet?
Mm-hmm. And the bats, right?
It was crazy.
Cemetery, didn't she? She had a bat cemetery.
See
Pet
what?
cemetery for all of the
Cemetery.
pets.
Oh
Jan
yeah,
had
she had a pet cemetery for every one we killed. Sure.
Yeah.
So Rob, you'll know this. Is that true? So Jan now is 76. Is she the most mature female in the
Yeah.
survivor?
So, you know what, T-Bird? You were the one that told me about Jake. I did not know that off the top of my head. Jake, what does that mean to you to be the oldest surviving survivor, as T-Bird put it?
Well, I didn't think anything about it. I just knew I was going to win that game. I was ready for it.
Yeah.
Listen, I've been doing triathlons. I had been in the backwoods more than anybody out there. I mean, when you hunt in Siberia, you're hunting in remote lands.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd been through all that stuff before. So that just, I was planning on winning that game at that point for sure.
Yeah.
But I loved all the people on that show. No question about it.
So Jake, what Rob was wondering is, now that you are the most mature oldest mature living survivor, how does that feel? How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm still not mature. I'm still just as immature as I ever was. I still have lots of fun, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
I'm never going to get old.
How do you feel about
Jake, where is your old adventure hat? Because per what I think I read about you, every time you watched Survivor before you were cast, you had your old adventure hat on. Is that
I
it?
did.
Behind you? Where is it? Is that it behind you?
No, that hat wore completely out. It's in the garage.
Mhm.
And it's stapled to, well, I think somebody offered me $250 for that hat. I should have sold it. I mean, it's just out in the garage, stapled up to something, but it's out there. No, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hats up on my wall here, and they're all really nice hats. I wear them often. I like to wear a cowboy hat. I'm still a cowboy.
Jake, your book that T-Bird was holding up, Shaping My Hat, where does that phrase come from? What is it about shaping your hat?
I just was trying to figure out exactly what would be the ideal cover for, or the title for my book. And the title was, that hat had been on my head through lots of places. I mean, I usually wore the same hat when I hunted. And that hat had been down streams. It had fallen out of canoes. It had, you know, one time I was riding on a horse and the hat was stripped off my head by one of the branches that I went under when I was looking back at my mule train. I mean, that hat had been everywhere and it had been a part of me all that time. So I said, I'm just going to call this Shaping My Hat. It's the hat that I wore all through my life. And it's sad that thing's so worn out today, but after Survivor, it took it on the chin on Survivor for sure.
Well, Jake, you didn't comment. I want to explain when I said, called you Jake the Snake, how you got that name on Survivor.
How I got what name? Survivor?
Jake the Snake.
That's not my name. I've been called that ever since I was a kid. Jake the Snake, or Jake the Fake, or Jake the something, you know. Somebody's always calling me something. I didn't care.
What I was reading about is when you were trying to convince the others that if they didn't get Brian out of the game, he was going to win the game.
That's exactly right.
And from there, they started calling you Jake the Snake because I guess for some reason they weren't trusting what you were telling them.
That's exactly right, too. The idiots, they should have listened to me.
Yeah. So I'd love to ask you about, you were there, the last of your tribe with all the people from Chewy Gun. You ended up voting for Brian over Clay. Did you ever look back at that decision and feel like, oh, I wish I would have gone the other direction?
Are you kidding me? I had a hard time with Clay. Clay was one of those guys that was the first in the food line, but didn't ever bring anything to the food line.
Yeah.
So I really didn't like Clay. Bless his heart. I mean, he's passed away now, and I hate to say anything bad about him, but I just didn't care for him. And then he started making fun of me one time when I was telling a true story.
Yeah.
I mean, he came up with a story that just blew me away. He said, man, when I was a kid, we would steal cars and drive them over people's lawns. And I thought, you ought to be in jail, you know. But, you know, bless his heart, he's passed away now. His beautiful wife has passed away. And I love Clay, but doggone it, it was hard to love him on that show.
Jake, didn't they call you or say that you favored Coach Benjamin Wade with your stories?
Oh, well, that was Clay's idea. He was always coming up with something to kind of mock my stories. Big old Jake, big old wow Jake. But the whole deal was they were all true. Every story I told was true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
well,
yeah, go ahead, T-Bird.
I was going to say, we're talking about some of the players that you played with on your season. You had just some wonderful characters out there. And one of the characters we've got here too, also, that her first impression of you is even though she didn't spend much time with you, her first impression is priceless.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, here comes.
You got to be
Hello,
kidding.
Jake, my darling. Happy birthday.
Well,
And
thank you.
congratulations on being the oldest living survivor. So this is my story of Jake. Jake and I really haven't talked very much, but I'm going to tell you this. When I first saw him, when they introduced, you know, the people, I said, oh, he is fine.
Whoa.
But he was given that Sean Connery like type fine. Ooh, I swear I'd never seen a man salt and pepper that fine in my life. So, Jake, I want to tell you this. You are still, to me, the finest man on Survivor.
Wow.
So happy birthday. Enjoy being the oldest living survivor and the finest living survivor, according to
Look at that. You're making me cry. How about that?
Day, and enjoy the rest of your summer. And I love you.
Love you too, man.
Happy birthday, Jake.
Thank you. How sweet. How sweet.
Wow.
Very sweet. She brought
Jake.
tears to my eyes with that. I didn't even know she liked me.
Yeah. Finest living survivor.
Yeah.
That should be the title of the next book.
Oh, you think?
Yes.
Could
Yeah.
be.
Jenny, is that okay?
Could be. I'm still kicking.
Yeah.
You realize I've had 5 bypasses, don't you?
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, 5. 5.
Yeah.
I guess I was really close to death. I'd been hiking every day at Tyler State Park. Not just hiking, I was running 6 miles every day. And all of a sudden one day I got this feeling in me that wasn't right. And I ended up in the hospital. And it took them a while because the first thing they did was just do my blood pressure and all that stuff. And said, man, you're in perfect condition. And then they said they did something else, some other test, and said, you can't leave this hospital. And I ended up, they took my heart out, put it on a thing. Anyway, it was fun. I guess it was
It was
I
fun.
was asleep.
It makes a good story to talk about now, doesn't it, Jake?
Yeah, that's a good one to tell, but I'm telling you, I made it through that one okay. Thanks to Jenny, she was taking good care of me after it was over. Wouldn't let anybody come in to see me.
Yeah.
She said, no, he's got to rest. And boy, she took care of me, gave me milkshakes every day.
Well, even with all that, again, you seem like you're doing great. And I'm so curious to know that, do you feel like that you have a secret or something that you attribute this to, that to be 84 and seemingly have all of your, be as sharp as ever, look great, feel great? What do you chalk it up to?
Well, I chuck it up. I ride a stationary bike every morning for 45 minutes, every day, never miss a day. and I ride that thing. I used to run. I used to swim. I mean, I've been through everything you can think of, and I've always been very athletic. So that's one thing I do is I
Yeah.
do that exercise every day. So yeah, and I eat right. Jenny takes care of me there. I mean, she's such a good cook. She knows what to cook and she knows what not to eat.
Yeah.
Let me talk about your Jenny. So
Okay.
I know you've experienced lots and lots of highs in Survivor. One of the highs that you've talked about in the past is having Jenny come out and be with you. So now might be a great time, if she's willing, to bring her on. I want to hear about her experience out there on the island with you and what she had to do to be there with you.
Yeah, let me
Yeah,
just set this up
she's
also.
right here.
Okay.
I'll bring her right in where you can see her.
And here's Jake's amazing wife. And so they did in Survivor Thailand, they did something that they had never done before. They brought out all of the loved ones and they said, hey, great news. If your loved ones, you want to see the Survivor players, okay, there's a food challenge. All the survivors were ready to do it. They were ready to eat the disgusting, gross bugs. And they said, no, you're not going to eat them. Your loved ones are going to be the people who are going to compete in the challenge. And I remember, this will always be burned in my brain, Jenny, that these were not like little ladybugs or anything that was like a gummy worm. These were big, juicy, giant insects.
Right. It was awful. I couldn't believe it when Jeff Probst said that. Oh, it's not about you eating, it's about your loved ones. I thought, oh my God.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it seemed like I ate so many, and the worst thing I ate was that big old water roach.
Water bug. Yeah.
Oh my God, because it just, you bite into it and it squirted. Oh.
Now you know why they call it a water bug. Yeah.
It was
She hates those things.
Yeah, I don't like bugs.
Sure.
Literally hates them.
Yeah. But Jake,
Spiders.
do you know how lucky you are? How much this woman must love you? Because guess what? My wife would have been like Brian's wife. I hate to say it. She would have said, you know what? Check, please. I'm leaving.
And you know what? Jake got a lot of fan mail after Survivor, and I can't tell you how many of them said exactly what you just said. There is no way my wife would eat bugs for me. No, I looked at Jake when we got out there, and I could see that for some reason he didn't look like he fit with that group that he was with. I didn't know, they don't tell us anything. I didn't know he was the only survivor. I mean, the only one left in his tribe. But I thought I got to do everything I can, to be able to spend 24 hours with him.
And Jenny, you did it willingly. You didn't even have to get threatened like Helen threatened her husband that he had to do it.
Listen, she started eating those things. I knew she could get by the ants. That wouldn't be a big deal. She's got such determination. But when she got that water roach and it squirted across the room, I thought, who is that person? That's not Jenny. Who is that person? Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Yeah. It was pretty awful.
And then she went through some of those other bugs that, man, that was.
When we got ready to do those live grub worms, everything else was except the water worms was cooked. And when he put those live grub worms in front of us that were crawling around on that plate, I looked at Jake, and from a distance, we were far enough apart, but he said, swallow them whole. And that's the only way I could have gotten to the finals, because if I'd have done like Linda and the other guys, they tried to chew them up, I just popped them in there and swallowed them whole.
Yeah.
That's the reason Jim and I both did that, and that's the reason we both ended up, in the finals.
Jenny, do you still watch the shows with Jake?
Yes, I do.
And now they don't do the loved ones visit so much on the new seasons, but did it bother you where and then all these years, then they just bring them out and they're like, here's your loved one, go hug them. That's it. You just get to see them.
Yeah, that was really kind of when they told us after we were on the first thing, and Jeff Probst said, if you don't win, you're going to go home. You're not going to get to see him. You're not going to hug him. You're not going to do anything. And all of us were going, oh my God, we came all this way and we can't even see them. We can't hug them if we don't win. So that was pretty just devastating.
Yeah.
So when they decided to bring us back the second time, that was just so amazing to me to be able to hug Jake and give him a kiss and be able to, that was a long time that he was gone and not
Sure.
doing anything.
Yeah, she started to give me a kiss, came running out and started to give me a kiss. And I said, honey, I hadn't brushed my teeth in 33 days.
Mm-hmm.
And she planted one on me. And then I got to thinking, well, what's this girl been eating?
But Jenny, just to be able not to just be there, but to participate and be active in the whole experience. I mean, that is really what a memory for you.
It was, I felt so blessed to be able to share that with Jake, because I think I was one of the few people that was able to share as much with Jake about Survivor as any of the loved ones. And so it really meant a lot to me to be a part of what he was involved in and everything. So I really cherish that. I got to go on some of the shows that he went on afterwards, like the morning show. They invited me to come on. And so it was really kind of cool for me to be able to do that.
Now, Jenny, how do you respond to, we just found out that Jake earned the title of the finest living survivor from Gandia?
Yeah, that's pretty cool, wasn't it?
I didn't even know she liked me.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
that was cool that she was able to say
That was
yeah.
sweet. That was awfully sweet.
Yeah, and that's the way I feel about him. So it's really, really so cool that somebody else.
Now you're happy other people are catching on finally.
Right. He's a good guy, and he's awesome. At 84, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at him sometimes and say, you don't even look 60. What do you mean you're 84? So, yeah.
How long have you two been married for?
30 years, and we dated for 7 years before we got married. So
I tried to get her to marry me for 7 years, and she would never do it. She said, no, I want you to go out and date. I'd been married before, see? And she said, I want you to go out and date a bunch of these young girls and get that out of your system. I dated one, and that was it.
Wow. Is that the secret to the happy marriage, Jenny? That you tell him go out and date these younger women and then we'll get married?
I have no idea.
Absolutely. It's because, so
Oh my God.
these guys don't go out and, sow their oats or whatever.
You should write a book, Jenny.
Yeah, I know. I really could. Could. Because that worked. I mean, he didn't want to do that, but I said, you got to do that and make sure.
Yeah, forget Jake's next book. I want to get this book.
Jenny's book.
Yeah.
But Jenny,
but that's a cool thing.
You have been from this book, this is a great book. It'll bring tears to you. It'll make you laugh. It'll do everything. But when you read this, Jenny has been such a big support for Jake through so many ups and downs in his life. So, Jenny, you're a rock star. Did you bond with any other family members that were out there have you stayed in touch with any of them?
Linda Jordan she and I, she was my favorite,
Clay's wife. Yeah.
And we kind of made a bond together, and we emailed and stuff a little bit after Survivor, and she'd send me pictures and I sent her pictures. But, we did that probably because the guys, remember all the charities that they would do after Survivor? Sure. There's so many of them. And Jake did that for like 8 years, I think. So there were a couple of times that she was there the same time I was on some of these charity events. And she's a really cool lady, and I really liked her. So she was my favorite.
Yeah.
Go ahead, D-Bird.
Okay.
What happened?
No, I was waiting I'm trying. Okay. So you mentioned about Helen. I think Helen told a lot of different food stories, didn't she, out there? Jake? Didn't she talk about food a lot?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Helen talked about food the whole time we were out there. Drove me totally wacko. I mean, I lost 36 pounds on that show. I was hungry. And she would start talking about how she baked all this stuff and how
Her
it was
recipes.
wonderful. And everybody there seemed to be enjoying it except me. I thought that was just pathetic. Man, I'm starving to death, and she's talking about all this great food. You know?
Give it up.
Okay.
Give it up.
All right. Here we go. Here's
Here she
Helen.
Hey, Jake. Hey, a little bird told me it was your birthday. So, remembering how much you loved on Survivor when we were in the dirt in Thailand, me talking about recipes, I know you just couldn't get enough of that. So I decided I'm going to do you a soup to nuts dinner. I've got lots of stuff from my garden this year. I've got all my cookbooks out, and I came across some really great recipes. Like you and I, that's my gift to you. You and I are going to sit down for hours, and I'm going to describe to you each recipe in detail, and we can pick from that. I will make you the best birthday cake ever. I will make you a great gourmet dinner. I'm telling you, your wish is my command. Happy birthday, Jake.
Oh, I love
Wow.
her.
How
I
about
love
that?
girl. I
Yeah.
loved her on the show. But darn, to just talk about food all the time.
I get
when
that.
you're
I get
hungry.
that.
Wow.
I didn't like to hear people talk about food too much. Like, let's talk about something else. It was just like torture to do it. But, Helen has all her recipes, and she looked great in the video.
Oh, yeah, I thought she was great. Well, she was wonderful. I loved Helen. And
Yeah.
still do. I mean, every now and then I talk to her. We just don't communicate that much, or I don't, with all the people that were on my shows. I guess I should, but I'm doing something else all the time.
Jake, who else have you kept in touch with from Survivor Thailand over the years?
Well, Ken the Cop was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I loved Ken the Cop. I thought he was just magnificent.
Ken
And
Stafford.
we stayed in contact for a long time. Rob, I didn't realize Rob was as good an athlete as he was. And
Yeah.
we haven't stayed in touch very much, but Helen, I probably have talked to more than most of them. And some of them, though, I've talked to.
So you mentioned Rob, and you were involved in your tribe in one of the most famous moments from the early days of Survivor. And it was really a moment that changed the show a lot, where your tribe had multiple people getting disqualified from the competition because they weren't following the instructions on the attack zone and when to engage. And then there was that very famous moment where Rob ends up choking Clay, which was like a huge moment in the show. What were you thinking as you were watching your hand-picked team falling apart in that challenge?
Well, at that time, I didn't know Clay,
Yeah.
So
Later on, you would say, okay, well,
I
maybe
just
Rob
thought
had a
it was kinda
point.
funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to get in that challenge. They didn't want me in that challenge, but I would have been good in that challenge. I was
Mhm.
pretty tough back then, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure I wouldn't have choked somebody too.
Now, the challenge, Jake, that y'all threw, that I know you're not big on throwing challenges to get anybody off, was that to get Rob off?
Why did we
Who
get
was that?
Rob off?
Yeah, I was wondering when y'all threw a challenge, who are y'all trying to get off? Was it Rob with two B's? Do you know Rob?
Jed.
Oh, Jed. Jed.
Yeah.
Oh, it was to
Jed.
get Jed off.
Huh?
Why? Why did
Well,
y'all want
Jed
to
was-
get Jed off?
Jed was the youngest guy on my tribe. I think I picked him rather last, but he was a superior athlete. And you
Yeah.
could tell by looking at his body, the guy looked like somebody you wanted to be like. But man, he had an interesting persona. He knew everything. I mean, he's the youngest guy out there, but he knew everything. And I was the oldest guy out there, and I knew more than he did about camping, but he wouldn't ever let me tell anybody anything. They'd say, "Hey, Jake, would you teach us how to do a fire without matches?" "Sure, I'll show you." Jed wouldn't let me do it. It's like, "No, we don't need to do that. I can do that." He said everything. So anyway, Jed and I didn't really we didn't really gel that much. I was older, he was younger. He
Yeah.
knew more than I did for sure, and he hadn't been camping near as much as I had. So that's it. If he said something nice about me, I could say something a lot nice about him too. He was a superior athlete, did really well in all our challenges. I should have kept him around longer, that's for sure.
So I know Sheehan had a big part to do with your game. Do you think if Sheehan had been treated, I think she thought she was treated unfairly by the tribe. And so she wanted to jump ship a little bit too soon, I guess. Do you think that cost you your game in the long run?
Yes, it absolutely did. She wanted to jump ship. Some of the other girls didn't seem to like her for certain reasons, and I never knew what they were. I loved Sheehan. I thought she was great, and she was one of the team, I thought. But some of the others just had a problem with her, and I don't know what the problem really was. But anyway, did you know that she wanted to marry me?
I know.
No, hold on a minute.
No.
It came out. It came out in some news article.
Came out on the Inquirer or something like that. It was
What?
this article. We loved it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting some good information here then, Jake.
Okay.
I know I said we're getting some good information here. I know you really liked her. You said she worked really, really hard. She was a hard worker.
She was a hard worker. I think it was a thing. She was Oriental. She was used to eating beaks or
Yeah.
feet of the chicken,
different parts of the
like
chicken.
that.
Yeah.
And none of us were used to that. And I think people had just it was different. It was just a different setup.
Yeah.
But I loved her. She
Yeah,
and
who
I had a
cares? They weren't
conversation
eating
one
it.
time. I'm sorry, what?
You weren't eating it. Who cares what she eats?
I wasn't eating them.
Yeah.
It was better for me. The more she ate, the more I could get of a pulley bone or something.
Mhm.
So, Jake,
I thought she was wonderful.
it's interesting too that Sheehan, I think this is right, Rob. Sheehan's the only one that has gone back to play a second time from your season.
Yeah.
That's
Right?
right.
Yep.
That's right. I
And
don't
so
know. Maybe they just didn't like any of the rest of us.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's a great question because I had been messaging with a big Survivor super fan and just a real observer of Survivor and the culture. I asked Evan Ross Katz. I said, well, I'm talking to Jake Billingsley. What do you want to know from him? And he said, could you ask Jake about that? Why do you feel like that Thailand as a season, so that only Sheehan has come back and people haven't always been, remembering it as much as some of the other seasons? What do you attribute that to?
I have no idea. I thought it was the greatest season that they've ever had. I had a wonderful time out there. I really don't know, except, there was a lot of friction early on between Ted and Gandia, and that might have had something to do with it. I really don't know.
I feel like also part of it was that the show really did not embrace Brian as one of the winners of the show early on. What was your opinion of Brian? Obviously, you voted for him. Did you like Brian?
I like Brian. It was really interesting. I had, for some reason, I thought maybe I might have a chance to win in that game. And so when we finally merged our tribes, we had a fake merge first.
Sure.
But
do not assume.
Brian and I went out together in a kayak. Incidentally, one of the guys turned his camera over out there. Anyway, we saved him. We pulled him out of the water. But Brian and I were good friends. I mean, I liked the guy.
Yeah.
And I said, Brian, I think what I would like to see happen, this was well after the merge, is you and I can maybe end up, and I don't care if you win or, I'd like to win, but if we don't, let's just try to do it together. And he was pretty savvy about that. Yeah, we will. He was pretty cool, I thought.
Mhm.
I like Brian.
I think he knew he didn't want to be sitting next to you. His better odds would be against Clay.
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? That game is so interesting. The directions it goes back and forth all over the place. You never really know how you stand. But if you're pretty popular, you're going to get voted off. If everybody likes you,
Mhm.
I don't know how people win that game 2 or 3 times. One time, I think you can get by, but.
Jake, there was a moment towards the end of the season where you guys had this challenge at night and everybody had torches, and stop me if I'm getting anything wrong. And Penny turned on you in that challenge, right? She put out your torches in the challenge. That did you take anything personally from that?
Oh, absolutely not. Penny was one of my favorites from the first. First, she was really nice to look at. I mean, you got a nice looking girl, and she was smart. And so we were really good friends, but I told her, I said, Penny, you gotta do something for yourself. Now, I don't know what it is or how you should do it or whether you should talk. She and Clay were really close. I said, maybe you ought to be talking to Clay and try to get him to work with you. And I'll try to talk with Brian and try to get him to work with me. But you've got to try to stay in this game and get some of them out. So no, it didn't bother me at all. She was just playing the game. And I love Penny, and I'm sorry she didn't get further in the game.
Yeah. Okay. Penny didn't get on your nerves. What about Magilla the monkey? Did the monkey that would raid the camp bother you?
Yes, I didn't. One of the things that I didn't like about Survivor was we couldn't kill anything. We could have eaten a lot of stuff on that island because there were always hogs and things like that, like they did in some of the other shows where they could kill the hog. And all we could do is just swim out there and get some clams or whatever and bring them in and eat that. But I mean, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to hunt. I wanted to show them that I could kill a pig, but no, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And then we went out and brought in a big old a clam. I think it was about this big. And I was really excited bringing that thing in. And they said, one of the producers said, well, you got to put it back. And I said, what do you mean put it back? He said, that's an endangered species. You got to put it back. I said, man, that'd feed us for a week. That's a big clam. And anyway, I had to put it back. But that's just part of the game. I mean, it's kind of like something would float in that we could use like ropes. Oh my gosh, the hardest part of our deal was we had to build our shelter. And in order to build a shelter, you had to make your own ropes.
Right.
And you had to go out and on Thailand, they wouldn't let us use fronds that were alive. They made us get them that were already on the ground and flat. And you'd go out and pull up a bunch of fronds that were on the ground, and there'd be snakes and whatever, lots of bugs crawling around on you and getting on you, mosquitoes and everything else. So anyway, that's the way the game is. A cup would float in and you'd think, I can use this cup. Nope, can't use a cup. You got to make something else out of it. So it made it tough, but it was fun. I love that.
So Jake, because you had watched all the seasons up to yours, you pretty much told the tribe when Probst moved y'all on the same island, this is probably not going to be a merge. This is too early, right? But nobody listened to you.
No, they didn't. They didn't listen. But, everybody thought it was a merge, and maybe I was wrong, I don't know.
He didn't
That
say
was a-
merge.
It didn't
That
say
got
merge.
us. That got us though, and then that, you know, when Sheehan moved over to the other tribe and voted with them, it was tough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Rob, this might be a good time for that last one.
But
Okay.
you know, I never did go in that show. I went in the show for the adventure and for the fun of it. That's the reason I went in the show. I didn't go in there expecting to win that show, but I hoped I could win it. I mean, $1 million would have been great for me in my retirement, but you know, it didn't happen. Heck, I can always make money doing something.
Yeah. Okay, we got another video for you from a friend of yours.
Oh,
Hi,
Sheehan.
Jake. It's been so long. I miss you, and I'd love to catch up in person. But I thought I'd drop in and say hello. I'm on my way to Burning Man, so I couldn't make a long
Burning
video.
Man.
But Teresa asked for a memory of us from Survivor days, and one of the most vivid memories I have is when you asked me to hold a chicken while you wrung its neck during the show. And I remember just thinking in my mind, "Be cool, Sheehan. Just act like you know what you're doing." I acted like I knew what I was doing, but I was actually really freaked out. That was a really fun memory. I just remember you being very kind during the show, and I would love to reminisce in person. So I hope you're having fun. Take care. Bye.
Okay.
Oh, she's wonderful. I liked Sheehan. She was a honey, I thought.
Did you think Sheehan knew what she was doing when you were going to kill the chicken and she held it?
Well, you got to understand, the first chicken we had, I popped his head off real fast.
Yeah.
I just, it was a rooster. And when that rooster crowed, I was up there and I popped his head off, and we were hungry and we were going to get food. Now, then the producers came to me and said, "We need to get that on film, and you did it at night." I said, "You think I want to be killing a chicken?"
Yeah.
People on watching in the national TV, and they said, "We're going to have to." So I decided I'd come up with some kind of little deal to honor the chicken and whatever. Whatever I did,
Yeah.
I can't remember now. But anyway, yeah, she held the chicken or grabbed it for me, and I twisted his head off there after making a little speech about how wonderful the chicken is to give his life for us. you
Yes.
know?
Very nice. Jake, how big of an advantage was it that the other tribe had the cave?
Had the what?
Cave.
Okay. Oh my gosh, it was a tremendous advantage, and that I had to blame on me. Why he asked me, which do you want? Do you want sunset or do you want sunrise? Now
Right.
I should have known that. The shade is so nice in the morning. It's so nice in the morning.
Yeah.
The sun is so hot in the evening. And why I did that, because, you know, it's like if I'm going to buy a house, I want my backyard to face east so I don't get that sun in the afternoon when it's hot. I want to sit on my back patio and enjoy it. So, yeah, I mean, it was a big advantage.
Don't beat yourself. How could you know from sunrise or sunset that they were going to get the cave?
Oh, we didn't know that it was a cave. He just asked, "Do you want sunrise or sunset?"
Yeah.
And I picked, like a dope, I picked sunset. You know?
But Jake, the cave was full of bats, rats, and snakes, and y'all were close to the water source.
And pee sometimes.
And what?
Sometimes they would pee in the cave.
Oh my gosh, it smelled like it. Yeah. That was not too fun. But anyway, I forgot where I was going with that. Their water was a pretty good
Far
ways
away.
from where they were, for certain. And I searched all over for our water. I didn't find it. Some of the other people found it. I think it was Rob and the girl from Arkansas. Boy, she was a honey.
Wouldn't it have been Jed? Wouldn't Jed have found the water source since he knew everything?
Didn't what?
Wouldn't Jed know where the water source is? Didn't you say he knew everything?
Did Jed find the water source?
It might have been Jed. It was probably Jed and somebody else.
Yeah. Jake, did they ever call you for any of the other returnee seasons that they did over the years?
You know, I was kind of hoping that I would get called on one of those.
Yeah.
I was having back surgery, and I ran into Jeff Probst up in New York or someplace, and
Yeah.
he said, "How you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm having back surgery," and that's the only one I thought that I might have had a chance to get on. So, and I did. I had back surgery back then.
Yeah.
So I just hoped that I would be thought of as an all-star, but I wasn't an all-star. I was just a player.
Jake, you are an all-star. You are an all-star. So, Jake, you just mentioned Probst. Give me your one word to describe Jeff Probst.
My one word, what?
To describe Jeff.
What?
Oh, Jeff Probst. I love Jeff Probst. How could
Give
you
me
not
one
love?
adjective.
I loved him. He was great.
One word about
Love. He was great.
Yeah. Could you describe him, though, in one word? What would be your one word to describe him?
Describe him. Authentic. Okay.
That's it.
That's it.
Friendly. I thought he was just fantastic.
Hmm.
Authentic. That's good.
And he still is. I mean, that show is amazing because of Jeff Probst.
So, Jake, who do you think when Probst decides to retire, who do you think would be the best person to take over?
To do what?
To take over for Jeff when he retires?
Oh, I've never thought about that. I can't stand the thought of him retiring. But if the game keeps going on, I guess he's going to have to get one sooner or later. I don't know. How about me? I would love to.
Yeah. Jake, how would you change Survivor if you were the new host?
Oh, shoot. I don't know. Boy, what a question. I've never even thought about that. I tell you what, I would love to go to that island they're on now.
Fiji.
I mean, my gosh, there's no snakes there. There's no reticulated pythons. There's nothing. That's the cleanest. I've always wanted to go to that place. Always, my whole life. You see, what's that movie out that's South Pacific?
Okay.
And you think about, all the songs of South Pacific, and you think, man, I'd love to go there. Never had enough money to go. But yeah, I would love to do it. I think he's got the right idea now. But who would? You'd probably be good at that.
Who? T-Bird?
No. You.
Listen,
Yes.
I
Yes,
have a great
he would.
job. I've got a great gig, Jake.
Would. Yes, he would. That would be my
Yes.
pick. Hey, so Jake, would you change it from 36 days? Wait, 36? Or was it 39?
30 is 39,
39
and then
days.
they made it 26.
Yeah, would you go from 39, go back to 39 days, or would you keep it 26 days?
I don't know. 39 days, I lost 36 pounds, and now they're getting to eat more. I don't know. 26 is probably long enough for that show. I imagine some of the older people would like to see it go back to 39. To me, they haven't lost anything the way they're doing it now. It's still pretty good.
Jake, are you excited for Survivor 50 that's coming up next year?
I hadn't really thought about it. I know that 49 is coming up, and there's some good people in that one. I know some of them. Anyway.
Oh, you know people that are going to be on Survivor 49?
Well, I just hope I know some people that are in it, but maybe not.
Oh, okay.
Well, Jake, so I know one of the Survivor players that you have said in the past that you really, really like a lot is Ozzy. And Ozzy.
How did you know that?
I just know that. Am I right?
She's very good.
I loved Ozzy. I thought he was one of the best survivors we have ever had. I mean, that boy could monkey up a tree and get those coconuts like crazy. Whether he can still do that now or not, I have no idea.
We'll find out.
So, Jake, Ozzy's going to be on 50, Survivor 50.
He is.
Yes.
Well, that's wonderful. He'll be great.
Yes, we can see if he can still monkey up a tree.
I know. He's absolutely fantastic. I love Ozzy. And I always wanted to swim against him. I was a swimmer in college, And I always thought I could beat Ozzy in the water. And he and I were always talking about it. I was telling him, I'll take you out there to the pool and I'll show you how to swim. And we would go backwards and forwards when we'd go to one of these meetings somewhere. But
Oh, wow.
I loved him. I thought he was great. He could probably beat me. I know he could beat me today. I mean, I hadn't been in the water in 15 years.
Jake, I'm surprised you don't still swim, because I know in this book you were, quite a swimmer. So as far as just getting more mature, you must not have a pool available.
I don't have a pool available. That's the only reason I don't now. When we lived in Arizona and we lived there for 7 years, I swam nearly every day, at least 400 yards every day, and sometimes a mile a day. Jenny and I'd go to the pool and everybody would be almost out of the pool, tired. I'm still out there swimming. I like to swim. I've competed forever. I don't know whether you can see some of that. You probably can't. I've got a bunch of ribbons up here that I've still got from swimming. And I swim at A&M.
Jake, I think you have touched so many people. I mean, with everything you've done and just your character. I just wanted to tell you a couple of things. Just again, this book, let me show it to you again. I've had it for a long time. In the book, it talks about how your mom used to read The Little Engine That Could, and how that really affected you through the years, pushing through. So I have a new grandbaby now. She's 15 months old. So because of you, and this is because of you, I bought this book, The Little Engine That Could, to start reading to my baby girl, just for motivation and encouragement because of you. So,
I love that book.
I know you do.
That was my favorite. Yeah.
But
and
your
I've
mom
got
was-
one right up here on my shelf right now.
I think it's neat. Also, I wanted to tell you, you had mentioned Ken Stafford, how y'all were such good friends. I did got in touch with Ken before we did this, and he wanted me to tell you that he doesn't even bother considering you a friend. He is, this is quote, he is, from the moment I met him, part of my family, and so is his wife and kids. Jake is what I wish and hope people were as a whole, but unfortunately, they are not. Great guy.
Oh, darn it. You got me.
So, Jake, it's a lot of times I don't think people realize how people are touched for just maybe even sometimes small things. I mean, you've touched him again. You've touched me. Just reading and knowing you has touched me. And you're an amazing, amazing man. And that lady beside you is equally as wonderful.
Yeah, she's
Jenny,
everything I'm not, boy. I'll
pull her
tell you.
back in. Give me Jenny again. Get Jenny.
Hey, girl.
Jenny. There she is.
That is a nice thing for you to say. And you know
Yep.
what? It is so cool for me to hear those things from everybody, to know who Jake really is, because he is one of a kind and one of the most awesome men I've ever met. And I feel so blessed to be able to be married to him. And he makes me feel so good every single day. He makes me feel beautiful. He makes me feel loved. I mean, he is an amazing husband and an amazing man, and it's really warms my heart to hear.
Look at you, Jake.
Oh no, Jake. Beautiful. Y'all are a beautiful, beautiful couple. And you're, again, the ups and downs and everything y'all have gone through in your 30 plus years. It's a beautiful, beautiful love story.
Thank you. Thank you. We feel very blessed. We really do.
Yeah. Thank you both so much for coming and chatting with us. This was so nice to get to catch up and hear more about your incredible story together.
Thank you guys for
How
having me,
wonderful. And oh my gosh, thank you.
Jake really gets emotional. And I
Yeah.
do too, but he wears his heart on his sleeve. And thank you guys for having him and having us. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. We can't wait for the new book.
Yeah, it's named right now. The name of it is Coogan, and it's a cool name. So we're hoping we can keep that name. It's a
Okay.
great story. It's a great love story in a Western.
And guess what the female lead is? Guess what her name is? Jenny.
Jenny.
It better be Jenny.
Mhm.
No.
So, Jake, is this book still available to be purchased or to be gotten?
When we got that book, we ended up with 4,000 copies. We've sold most of them, but I still have a few that I've hung on to.
Yeah, we have about 100. So if somebody really wanted one, we could mail it to them. But we've taken them off of the market because we have so few left.
It's really funny how I did a lot of public speaking before Survivor, after Survivor, after Survivor especially. I mean, I spoke California, Louisiana, all over college towns and stuff like that. And that's where I sold my book. I took it off the market and just took my books with me, and I would sell them there when I spoke. That's a good way to sell books, I'm telling you. So anyway, it sold about 4,000, but I've got a few left, I think. If somebody wants one, I could get one to them.
Okay.
All right. Very good.
Jake, Jenny, thank you both so much. This was so cool to get to catch up today.
Thank you.
Wasn't planning on crying at the end, but you got me.
That's what T-Bird does. That's her magic.
I know. She got it. She's got it. Good luck, guys.
All right. Thank you so much, Jake. Take care.
Hug and kiss to both of you.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, T-Bird, there you have it. There's Jake Billingsley and Jenny. And what a great job that you did of getting all those people together from Thailand, talking to Ken. I think you really made Jake feel very special.
Rob, Jake is very special. Him and Jenny are such a unique couple. I'm so glad we got him on right here at his birthday. His birthday, just like maybe a week or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, he got a little emotional. I was emotional with this one because, and I'm not going to get emotional here. I wondered if I decided if I wanted to mention this or not. And then I decided that I do. This is a list of my talking with T-Bird. I've got like all these little pieces of paper, like all these little pieces of paper.
What, those are like your podcast notes on Post-its?
These are actually just names. These are just names of people that come to me that I think I want to have on. Okay. And this is the very first page. In the very first page, it was Jane Hammond Bright. And right behind Jane is Jake Billingsley. And of course, I wasn't able to do Jane. So, I think with a lot of these old school survivors, of course, we're all getting more mature, but these are people that have touched so many of us for different reasons and are such memorable, wonderful characters that brought, so much to the show. And so it was great to have Jake on today.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, keep going in your Post-its. I'll get you a legal pad.
No. Well,
I'm worried you're going to lose one of the Post-its.
Hey, do you know? I'm not sure, but you'll know this. We've done quite a few people from Thailand on Talking with T-Bird, but this is so neat. Remember who our very, very first one was? Our very first one.
So it was Helen.
Helen from Thailand. And it took me a while even to convince her because she wasn't doing podcasts, but she was our first one.
Right.
From there, we got Cheyenne.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Gandia, not in this order, but Gandia Cheyenne was season 1. I think Gandia was season 2, which was a huge
of Talking with T-Bird. And people are like, no, they're gonna be like, T-Bird, it was season 5 that they were on.
Wait.
No. People, I'm sure I think you're the only one that remembers what season of Talking with T-Bird it was. Everybody else.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So we had Helen, we had Cheyenne, we had Gandia, we had Rob with 2 B's.
Yes.
And just so I can remember our friends here, Rob was a big surprise for you.
Yes, and
Remember?
Jan also.
And we had Jan Gentry, yes. But Rob is the one that I got before realizing there was a no-fly list.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, when I told you I had a big surprise for you, you quickly informed me you don't like surprises. So in other words, I got to get things approved. So I'll never forget that with Rob. I think Rob was he was season 1. So I learned quickly you don't like surprises.
So I feel like that, small surprises are fine. That I feel like that while this is Talking with T-Bird, you do so much work that I do feel like that there may be things that you don't necessarily know behind the scenes that
Right.
I might be able to, like, for instance, there might be a person that you're like, hey, let's get this person. This is a great guest. And I have to tell you, actually, T-Bird, that'll be the last episode of Rob as a Podcast if we interview that person. And so that's where I say, just let's talk ahead of time, because I think that great communication is the foundation for an amazing podcast.
Right. But I will say, Rob, sometimes you can have too much information. And I know there's been a few people that I've gotten that the podcast was great and we weren't sure what direction it might
Sometimes
go in.
I need my arm twisted, but I would say that, like, the twist my arm first, don't just surprise me.
Right. I got it. So I'll have people actually contact
Happy to talk it through with anybody you want to talk to.
People will actually contact me and want to know who's on the do not fly list. Do
Yeah.
you know I've never given that out, although
It's a very small list.
It's
I think
it
could be written on a Post-it.
Some might surprise you though.
Mhm.
Anyway, that was great with Jake.
Yeah.
Great.
And then the reason why such a list exists is because, you know what? Nobody's going to email T-Bird and say, T-Bird, why did you have this person on the podcast? But you know who's going to spend a lot of time answering messages from people?
Rob.
Yeah.
Although, Rob, I'll tell you, I won't tell you the name. I have been contacted by people once the podcast was over with comments. So now I've got to be careful with things
And
too.
I'm happy to start a Teresa, a T-Bone at robasawebsite.com email address. And then we can interview whoever you want and then say any issues, any complaints, email T-Bone at robasawebsite.com.
How about feedback? Can we call it any feedback?
No, they're going to go directly to you. T-Bird, thank you so much. We'll be back. I know you're working on more Talking with T-Bird. What is it, season 7?
No, whoa, I didn't know this. We're season 6.
Season 6, like the Amazon. That's right.
6. That's
Okay.
right. Season
All
6.
right. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We love to read your comments. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.